Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel for the latest update on Harrington, my N-scale layout based on the town of the same name in West Cumbria. So in the last video, I did the first 3 buildings to lay out, which were quite rewarding to put together, and I definitely had the bug for making buildings, and so I thought I'd add a few more. I thought I'd continue with the terraces to the right of number 3 Church Road that I scratch built in my video last time. To start with that, I created the ground floor building templates in Inkscape, taking the measurements from Google Maps as I did with the previous one, but adapting them slightly to follow the curve of the layout. So in real life, in the prototype, it's a nice straight road. On the layout, it curves round, so I had to adapt it slightly to fit that. So those templates were then printed using printed labels and then glued to serial packets and then cut out. With those done, I then produced the templates for the walls, again using measurements from Google Maps and also some of the Scalescenes templates that I've downloaded over the years as like a rough height of the windows, height of the doors, that kind of thing. I then overlaid the walls once they're printed out in serial packets with different coloured prints for the left terraces. And then I then used some Scalescenes pebble dash texture for the walls on the right, for the terraces on the right. But that all done, and then I did some windows using the sticky label method that I've used previously, and I got from Chandwell Channel. It's quite a neat way of getting the windows to fit exactly to the template that you've got, and also be able to adapt the window design to the one you want. It's a little bit fiddly, but yeah, I found it works quite well and can be quite effective. The doors there, Metcalf, old Metcalf kit that I had, and then around the windows, I did some window frames because on the terraces on the right, they're quite large and quite prominent, so I wanted to make sure I modelled those. So these were made using thin strips of plasticard, and for slightly thicker ones on the right, slightly thinner ones on the left, and I then carefully painted those. Very carefully painted those because yeah, I didn't want to get any paint on the wall coverings. I did some internal rooms with bits of leftover card, which I added a few LED lights to those, so that'll all be lit up when I get around to it. The roofs, I did use a double layer of serial packet for those because I found in the past the single layer sometimes warps a bit over time. And that's then overlaid with Scalescenes roofing tiles, which again takes a long time, but I quite like the 3D effect you get. But yeah, you do have to take your time with it. You can't rush it. And then as a finishing touch, I've added some ratio guttering and downpipes. Um, and these are the final buildings. Really pleased again with how the scratch builds have come together. Yeah, look pretty good. Happy. Before adding any more buildings, though, I thought I should probably get the ballasting done, as this is kind of the last messy job to do really on the layout. And there's always a risk of damaging structures on the layout, no matter how careful I am. Even if I put them in an entirely different part of the garage, no doubt they'll get something on them. So I thought, yeah, get the ballasting done, get it out of the way. I've done this loads of times before, as you've seen in my previous videos, normally without incident, but this took a little bit longer than anticipated. So the problem was that I'd left little gaps in the cork bed that the track sits on, which meant that when I was adding ballast, the ballast just fell through because um, the track raises that are on have got little gaps between them, because that's how it works. And yeah, if I'd been a bit more careful, I would have realised that and made sure that the cork kind of continued along and there weren't any holes. So I then filled the gaps in with just a bit of modelling clay, which worked all right. But yeah, that's probably something a lesson learned. The ballast is fixed in place, usual 50-50 mix of water PVA. Added a little bit of black paint to darken the ballast to get it more like the colour of the ballast in Harrington. And I did this on a dry day in a fairly warm week. So yeah, this dried within a day rather than over a week, as it's sometimes taken in the winter. And I've already painted the track in a rusty red colour, but I decided to add some additional weathering around the tracks. So from studying quite a lot of photos of the track around about Harrington, the sort of weathering effect there seems to be is kind of like lots of rust around the rails, but there's not a lot of darkening of the ballast anywhere else. So to try and replicate that effect, I used some brown track rust, I think it was, just applied very gently along the track. And this is the effect that it's given, and yeah, really pleased with it. I think it matches some of the photos quite well. Thought I'd also give an update on some of the stock that I've been updating recently. So I had a Dapple Class 33 DRS mini modal engine arrived. So it's DCC fitted. So I've already got two of these. No, one of these already. Um, so so the older model is exactly the same numbering, same mini modal. And so I thought I'd remove the mini modal livery and renumber this one. So from photos, there seems to be only one 33 that actually carried the mini modal livery. And they often operated in pairs, so having two mini modal ones wouldn't look right to me, or at least match the photos. So that was quite easy. Just used a weathering pencil to remove the mini modal livery. Same with the numbers, and then from Realtek transfers had some DRS numbers that I then applied. I've done a tiny bit of dry brush weathering to the chassis and the bogies, and a little bit to the roof. But yeah, this is it done. Also in the 2000 stock, I found an EWS inspection coach on eBay. Between sort of British Railways and DRS, some nuclear trains were run by EWS. very briefly. And I already had a EWS 37 from Graham Farish and the KUAs from Revolution Trains. So this quite nicely adds to make a nice prototypical sort of late, not early to mid 2000s nuclear train. Well, at least according to the Revolution Trains website, anyway, which I'm sure they're correct. And yeah, and that's pretty much where I'm up to with Harrington. Hope you've enjoyed this latest update on the layout. If you did, please leave a like and consider leaving a comment. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.